Back out in the barn, testing something that looks familiar, like I've already tested it, but actually this is going to be part 2. I have another video out there that's basically kind of broken into 2 parts, because when I've got this is my second Hatsan Flash QE, but the first one that I got ended up having quite a few problems, and you hear me kind of griping about it in the first video, which is either like part 1A or where I was explaining how the magazines didn't feed correctly on like 90% of the pellets. Basically every pellet here did not feed correctly out of these magazines. So, and also one of my other gripes was that it wasn't quite as powerful as the specs had led me to believe it was, at least the pre-specs. There's a lot of different specs out there on the internet now. They're all over the board. But I will say that I have quickly chronied this, and just in a single shot. I haven't tried the magazines yet. And it's roughly, I don't know what percentage. Let me just rattle off real quick. I got a piece of paper. What my original one with Crosman Premier Hollow Points 14.3 was averaging at 935 feet per second and 27.8 foot-pounds of energy. This one averaged out in 952 feet per second and 28.8. So literally 1 foot-pound extra, and okay, that's not a big deal, but that was the average, so it is a little more powerful. The JSB Exact was a little nicer. The original one was averaging 857 feet per second, and that's 29.6 foot-pounds of energy. This one is 882 feet per second, or 31.3. So over an extra foot-pound, almost, not quite 2, but anyway, 1.5. So, yeah, so it's a little more powerful. Makes me a little happier. Well, I guess, and accuracy I'm going to test today, and whether or not the magazines feed correctly. I'm going to quit rambling on and get myself ready to go, and then we'll see how this one goes. I'm mostly interested in that these magazines feed. So, see you in a bit. I'm at my typical, I think I'm at about 30 feet or 10 yards, but that doesn't really matter to me. But I just want to make sure the magazines work. And sorry if I'm really kind of scrunched in here, because I started to finish off this side of the barn. Of course, that side isn't finished, but in any case, I started moving stuff, and I just got a mess. So let me take you down. And if you remember the last video, this was the accuracy that I was just thrilled with. So I was so upset that the magazines didn't work right and the power wasn't quite what I liked. Just a host of issues, but anyway, so I'm going to aim for these. And that scope was just slapped on. I mean, it was in the mount correctly, so the orientation is right. It's just a matter of the rail system is machined, and it's set up exactly the same to the barrel height, bore distance. But it should be really close. If nothing else, I just want to see if there's any repeatable accuracy, so I don't care if it's just a couple meters away from the target or bullseye. So anyway, let's try to set this up. So I'm going to start out with the Crosman Premier Hollow Points. They gave me absolute fits. I don't think I had one feed without an issue. I mean, even when I had to just jam it in. So I've made sure I'm only shooting 5, so it isn't a whole lot of tension, but it shouldn't matter. The bolt pulled back, safety on. Okay, line up the chamber, push it in all the way firmly, control, don't smash the snot out of it. And by all rights, that should just, oh, wow. Well, we're off to a good start. The last one did not do that at all, not even for a second, not even for, yeah, the safety's still kind of a bugger. The other one I worked on for quite a while, back and forth. Okay. Oh man, what is going on? Well, that is not, there's just, I'll tell you, this Hatsan product, it's great that it's affordable. But I'm telling you, this stuff is not, and I'm going to tell you something, I got the hands of, I could almost crush freaking cantaloupes. But some of these, there's some rough edges on these things. But for 300 bucks, what can you say, you know? Wow, that scope is, it might be off to the right, like, I don't know, millimeter. Okay, well, obviously that, the mounting, obviously held true, and then the rail on the Hatsan flash from varying from one model to the other appears to be working. Uh-oh. There we go. I knew that wouldn't take long for that to become, what am I doing wrong, people? What am I doing so wrong? That just doesn't have to be rocket science, man. I just don't get it. Well, we were off to a good start. Now we're right back to where I was. God, plus the humidity is like 3,000,000%. Why in the world do I have this problem? You know, another thing too, I noticed that the serial number of this gun is actually earlier than my first one, which was, anyway, it's really close to. Why in the world is that happening? Man, I've got something, I got to learn something, because I can't believe I've got two guns. It's got to be something okay. So, I'm just going to go really slow, by the book. Oh, well, if I ram it in, but I'm telling you, I know it's hitting the edge of the chamber, because every time you look, you can just feel it. But maybe I'm just supposed to ram them home. Maybe I'm just being too delicate. I'm not getting the accuracy, but I'm probably, okay, well, when I ram them, they work, but the other ones did not, because I did try to ram them, the last one. Yeah, when I do my part, this thing works better. Uh-oh. Okay, I really just pulled kind of 1.5, I guess. Well, all right, I don't know, man, it kind of works. Unsafe. All right, well, the next ones I had trouble with were the Ruger Super Point. They gave me almost as much trouble, and I think their problem, I mean, they're pointy, which is kind of nice, it would help guide them in, but man, they are really soft. Interference. So I don't know how to push that in any harder than I am without, you know, just smashing the snot out of whatever. Ooh, that went in smooth. That's another one that never went in that smooth, so. Okay, can I do this with one finger? The last one, the safety was, okay, you just gotta go back and forth like 8,000 times with some oil and it'll loosen up, but again, why should you have to do that? Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna start going faster. No, these are loading in. Blew that thing right off. Okay, let me see if it. Yep, and then it stops it. Well, okay. I mean, that's, I had a couple little hang-ups with the Crosman Premier, but for the most part, then you can decock it. Safe. But for the most part, that worked pretty well. Man, it is like 1,000,000% humidity today. I think our dew point is like 71, or it's tropical, so it's a lot hotter than not hotter, but humid. Okay, so I was rambling, and you know, realistically, that still really is not, that's totally my fault. I'm total ownership. I was rambling on and frustrated, but there's the Crosman Premier hollow points. Here's where I just shot these two. I think that just tore. Oh, it did. That is not. So there's what the Ruger Super Points, 17 grain, Crosman Premier hollow points, that's all on me. So while the accuracy is there, and it looks like after remounting the scope, well, a little bit to the right at the most, and because again, if I start going out past, you know, 10 yards, it's gonna raise up a little bit depending on the height of the target. Okay, well, I think then, all things considered, this is probably going to be a keeper. I think I'm getting pretty happy now. So it was kind of crunched in the box, which was unfortunate, but as long as nothing's bent out of shape, it works. So this is just a hair more powerful. It appears for the most part that these things are loading, and I do agree, the Crosman Premier aren't the most consistent pellets, and these are fussy little magazines that just load into an area that wobbles all over. But I'm not a big fan of just ramming. It's not a round lead ball for a flintlock, so it's not like I just want to jam something in there. But I'll give it some more break in. I'm going to try these other pellets, see how they do. And sorry for this kind of impromptu video. It wasn't very well thought out. I just wanted to see if the magazines worked. But the accuracy is good. Scope remounting. Decided I wanted to, I'll finish off the air I've got. One of the other pellets that unfortunately gave me a lot of trouble, I felt kind of bad, was the H&N Barracuda Hunter 18.21, because if you're going to pester hunt, I think those are supposed to be a pretty good pellet. I've also got some Hunter Extremes. And I remember the Diablo, I don't know that gave me as much trouble. And I don't know if it's just because it's a slightly, maybe the makeup, the alloy of the lead is just a little harder. I don't know, but I don't remember, to be honest with you. But I just know everything gave me a little bit of trouble, except for lead-free. Lead-free slid in, and I think it's just because they're so dang hard. They didn't catch on the edges. But anyway, so we're going to give these a try. And I marked off a couple extra spots on the target here, and here. So I'm going to shoot the H&N Barracuda Hunter first. See how that goes. Maybe I'll shoot those here and then finish off with the JSB Exact Heavies there. And as always, I always say, geez, I hope I don't hit the camera. I shouldn't. Okay, these were the Barracuda Hunter, and it looks like the first, I'll have to check it, it looks like those are the first three, and I mean, I don't know what happened here, honestly. I thought I had them in the exact, the crosshairs in the exact same spot. I don't know, and then here's the Exact Heavies. So yeah, not too sure. Yeah, the gun still is having some quirks. I'm still not, the very first Barracuda Hunter, it's got that same thing going on. It just gets caught on the edge of the chamber. When I just really go fast and kind of muscle them in and just ram them home, I think you're still catching that edge and just forcing it in with the probe. So I suspect perhaps this one, with it being the big hollow point and then the skirt damage from forcing, maybe some of them I just forced in then, where the Exact Heavy might be not as easy to deform, therefore it didn't affect the accuracy as much. But I don't like these magazines. I do not like them. I think they're junk, and I'm going to say that, and I'm going to put that on my YouTube video, and I'm going to tell you why. Because when I watched the video of SHOT, where one of the representatives said that they were making these out of plastic, because if I'm not mistaken, isn't it the Barrage and the Bullmaster that has a similar, but it's aluminum, it's just a much more better built. They kept talking about keeping the the weight down and the price down, as they were talking about this version at SHOT. And what I heard him say was they talked about these magazines, and either the representative or the person interviewing him said, you know, I see that these are plastic, whatever. And he goes, yeah, he goes, that's to keep the weight down. I'm sorry, but you really think that a piece of aluminum that's probably less than a 16th thick, I don't know if it's machined out of bar stock or if it's deep drawn, but in any case, I doubt very much that that 1 ounce makes a difference on a 6-pound rifle when we're all putting optics on that weigh 1 to 2 pounds. So he really should have admitted that this helps keep the cost down. This is obviously a much less expensive magazine to produce, which helps keep the price down. I get it. It's, you know, 200 less or 300 less than one of those other, maybe even more, I don't know. But I just was, as soon as he said to keep the weight down, I knew darn well that's what he was told to say by their head of marketing or sales or whatever. There's no way you're telling me you're keeping the weight down on a little piece of aluminum like this or a piece of plastic. And in any case, that's just a rant and a gripe, but yeah, I don't feel, at least in 22 caliber, these are working real good. If at least this one works better than my last. The last one I couldn't get to work no matter what I did. So I just think they could work better than they do. This is the end of this video, and I appreciate you watching, and I'm happy with the gun, just wish that the magazines work better. So I think I'll save up and purchase a couple of the other aluminum and see if they work any better. And that's about it. So thanks for watching, and I hope that helped you make up your mind if you like this gun or not, or if you think you would. All right, take care.